Our reward for surviving the holiday season is a
Reward. Reward.
Our reward for surviving the holiday season is Our reward for surviving the holiday season is a new year, bringing on the great tradition of New Year's resolutions.
Resolution. Resolution.
Bringing on the great tradition of New Year's resolutions.
I am loud, aren't I?
Fritch was always sticking his nose in someone else's business.
Nose. Nose.
Fritch was always sticking his nose in someone else's business. Right. I'm thinking of someone else. Just confused.
Confuse. Confuse.
Just confused.
Me too.
It's hard to resist the chance at a new beginning.
Resist. Resist.
It's hard to resist the chance at a new beginning.
Listen up, people. New year, new rules. Or should I say new year, and we will be enforcing the rules, man.
Enforce. Enforce.
Or should I say new year, and we will be enforcing the rules, man. There were too many mistakes made last year. Fatigue played too big a role. Exceeding 80 hours worked per week will not be tolerated.
Tolerate. Tolerate.
Exceeding 80 hours worked per week will not be tolerated. Leave when you hit 30. Gray, you were here until 2 a.m. last night. See you at noon.
Noon. Noon.
See you at noon.
Great news. Has he been called?
Got here 10 minutes ago.
Oh, good. I was worried we couldn't find a match in time.
Match. Match.
I was worried we couldn't find a match in time.
Dr. Yang, you need to leave this OR.
Excuse me?
You've exceeded your 80-hour limit for the week. You have
Exceed. Exceed.
exceeded your 80-hour limit for the week. You have
And what does that mean? That his heart is unable to fill and pump blood normally.
Good, Denny. This is Dr. Stevens. She'll be tending to you prior to surgery.
Prior. Prior.
Good, Denny. This is Dr. Stevens. She'll be tending to you prior to surgery.
You do glow.
Like the moon.
And you can spend the day in the pit, Karev.
Pit. Pit.
And you can spend the day in the pit, Karev. I'm sorry, Dr. O'Malley?
Rebecca's been admitted for...
Could you stop calling me that?
She prefers Bex, not Rebecca.
Prefer. Prefer.
She prefers Bex, not Rebecca.
Talk to her again.
But she hasn't hit puberty yet. Isn't it weird she'd be having sex?
One of these days, Dr. O'Malley, it's not that unusual.
Unusual. Unusual.
One of these days, Dr. O'Malley, it's not that unusual.
Well, then why?
I'm as flat as a board.
Flat. Flat.
I'm as flat as a board. Boobs, dude.
We're trying to make your breasts grow.
Breast. Breast.
We're trying to make your breasts grow.
Okay, Mauer, it's time to return your book to the library.
Library. Library.
Okay, Mauer, it's time to return your book to the library.
That guy could sweat. And I, Mauer Paskowitz, I wrote an epically crap novel, but I sure as shine know that can sweat like Nixon.
Sweat. Sweat.
I sure as shine know that can sweat like Nixon. Forgive me, honey, but you are not exactly Lionel Trilling. It blows.
Lionel Trilling?
He seeks the approval of dead literary critics.
Literary. Literary.
Seeks the approval of dead literary critics.
Dr. Marshall? Hi. I heard you're going to Twin Falls, Idaho.
Twin. Twin.
I heard you're going to Twin Falls, Idaho. Promise. It's a nice coat.
Coat. Coat.
It's a nice coat.
Haven't you seen scars before?
I'm just trying to figure out why someone with so much talent would want...
Talent. talent,
I'm just trying to figure out why someone with so much talent would want
5 loads of laundry. I have literally washed the past out of my life.
literally, literally,
I have literally washed the past out of my life.
Biopsied ovary?
Not exactly. Arrange a meeting with Bex's parents, George.
arrange, arrange,
Arrange a meeting with Bex's parents, George.
How is that possible? I don't understand. I don't understand how that...
Shouldn't this have been detected somehow?
detect, detect,
Shouldn't this have been detected somehow?
But emotionally, psychologically, I strongly recommend therapy.
She's already in therapy.
I'm talking about therapy for all of you.
therapy, therapy,
She's already in therapy.
I'm talking about therapy for all of you. And it's not going to be an easy adjustment for you to make.
A big adjustment. What kind of adjustment?
adjustment, adjustment,
Adjustment. What kind of adjustment?
Begin to identify very strongly with one sex, and it's not necessarily the sex they've been raised.
necessarily, necessarily,
And it's not necessarily the sex they've been raised.
Chewing paper will have that effect, lover.
Weird how?
Pins and needles. No, needles and pins. Needles and pins, yeah.
pin, pin,
Pins and needles. No, needles and pins. Needles and pins, yeah.
Mr. Paskowitz, I'm Dr. Weber. I'm going to be performing your surgery today.
I poured my heart and soul into that freaking book.
pour, pour,
I poured my heart and soul into that freaking book.
May not do that. In fact, it could do just the opposite.
But her hormones
It can be controlled with an oral medication.
oral, oral,
Controlled with an oral medication.
Okay, me, you can screw with. My mother, no, not acceptable.
There's been some really promising results from similar studies in Europe. Your mother is a prime candidate.
prime, prime,
Similar studies in Europe. Your mother is a prime candidate.
My mother is very sick and has very few good days. And I don't want her being poked and prodded for some experimental program.
I'm just trying to help.
experimental, experimental,
Some experimental program.
I'm just trying to help.
Some experimental program.
I'm just trying to help.
Well, see this, what you're doing? Being dreamy? It doesn't help. It hurts me. It messes with my head.
mess, mess,
It doesn't help. It hurts me. It messes with my head.
25 mics, that's too much.
They started him on 5 mics of dobutamine 30 minutes prior to arrival.
arrival, arrival,
30 minutes prior to arrival.
I have testicles,
Yes, Bex, this is a tremendous amount of information for
and I've
you.
had
tremendous, tremendous,
This is a tremendous amount of information for
and I've
you.
had
Yes.
You engineered that conversation.
engineer, engineer,
You engineered that conversation.
Mood swings and lack of coordination. And then I mentioned the crazy talk.
Your point?
The point is, he ate his novel.
novel, novel,
Point is, he ate his novel.
It won't give her a new lease on life, but it may give her more good days. I urge you to consider.
urge, urge,
I urge you to consider.
And not take pause. I took pause.
You paused?
I paused. I paused a very long time.
pause, pause,
Paused a very long time.